Welcome back to the Biz Banter podcast.
Starting with deep breaths today. I had to get my... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and a welcome back at the top of the episode. Look at us go.
I'm not sure if you guys have listened to our episodes now that it's just music as the intro. It's so much better.
Oh, I have not.
It's funny. I have not heard the music, so looking forward to it.
It's the same as the outro music, but I was like, oh, I forgot that we updated the intro and now it's just casual. And I'm like, God, this is so much better. I'm like, we don't need an intro. It's overrated. Just, we all have the same name, basically. We're all business owners. You guys get it.
We're so casual that on Sunday this week, I was thinking, oh, the episode will probably come out Monday. And then I realized I am the one who edits the podcast. I swear when we stop recording, days go by before I'm like, I have to edit this. I'm the only reason it goes up.
Is it really
wait for it?
Could it just automatically upload? I feel like we're so low edit at this point, except Allison did foresee that she might have to have a bathroom break in the middle of this one. Outside of a massive pause, are we at the point where it could just auto upload and we...
Yeah.
I don't know if we can auto upload, but I do minimal edits. I actually this week I'm doing a little bit because as I was listening to, I did start editing it. So it's coming probably maybe tomorrow. I did have to cut out some of the stuff up top the episode because we talked about our hair color.
Oh, we were talking
12 minutes.
It's best to start recording immediately just because in case you say something good. But
it's good banter. We kick right into it. Yeah. And we love it.
And we had some good banter, but I cut some out.
You just said it, but as someone who says the word editing a lot, you just said editing it. And that is my least favorite sentence in the world. It's such a tongue twister. I mean, you said it good, but
editing it? Like
editing
it. Ever think about it?
It's just an ugly sentence. It's hard to say.
It's an ugly sentence.
Editing it.
I don't know.
It sounds like one word. It doesn't sound like two words.
Cute. Wait, do you guys do D's as T's a lot? Do you find yourself doing that?
D's as T's?
D instead of T?
Yes. Do you pronounce things with D's instead of T's?
Well, maybe not D, but I definitely shorten the T.
Button.
Like mitten.
Mountain.
I don't know.
It doesn't turn to a D, but it just kind of disappears.
It just disappears.
Yeah.
So we're talking about goals today, right?
Yeah. Wait, I was just going to say, what was the last podcast record? Because Alex said, oh, it's coming out. What did we talk about?
Well, first of all, I thought we almost lost it because it showed up in a different place in Riverside and I almost had a heart attack.
Oh, no.
What did we talk about? I'm literally editing it right now. Social media.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Social media. That's funny. Speaking of social media, is the TikTok ban back on the table for the next week?
I don't know.
Have you guys been paying attention?
Oh, I've not heard about
it. It's like April 6th or April 5th is the deadline, but I definitely see a lot less people talking about it. So we'll see what happens. I'm so over this narrative at this point. I'm like, take it or don't. I'm so over. There's nothing we can do. So whatever.
Everything right now. It's the tariffs, TikTok, all this shit. It's like, we're doing it. Oh no, we're not doing it. It's like I can't take anything seriously anymore. I'm just like I feel like I'm just like, yeah, okay, come to me when it actually happens because I don't really give a fuck for this back and forth.
Personally,
right now.
Yeah, I feel like there's too much money to be had with TikTok for it to go away. That's all that people at the top care about. So I feel like they'll find a way to either monetize it for themselves or something.
Keep it around.
One of those moments where that actually works out in our favor, that they actually keep an app because they can make money off of it. Anyways, so as we said, today we're talking about goals.
Did we say that?
I
don't know.
Might have dropped it in there.
Wait, but before we do, I had a follow-up from last week's podcast that
Yeah, wait, hold on. Let's see how she framed this up. You guys, she literally drops an all caps text to us. I can't remember what it said, but all caps text to us.
Guys, period.
And it was also 4 days ago. It wasn't it was oh, we're recording the pod tomorrow, so I can just give you this little teaser and I'll reveal it to you. Literally 4 days ago, she's like, guys, and then silence. I
texted on impulse. It was a reaction, and then I was like, wait a minute, save this. It's not as exciting as it probably seems, but So last week we talked about something and Allie was like, yeah, I have a ton. And Allison and I are like, no. Gray hairs. I found like
one?
20.
20?
Head.
Welcome to the club.
Wait, like, were you
Good
looking
for
for them,
you.
or how did you find them?
The worst part is they're like right up. There's like 4 or 5 of them right up in here. So I was doing my hair, blow drying my hair. I know, I have no idea. Maybe I just, because of our talk, because I wasn't even looking for them. I was because of our talk, and I was like blow drying my hair or something, and I looked and I was like, there's some really blonde pieces up there, and I was like, I have like my hair is dark at the roots, and so I got closer and I was like, oh my gosh, I think they're gray, and I called Eric over and I was like, Eric, are these gray hairs? Yanks one out of my head, which is what you're not supposed to do, and I touched it, and it's okay, well, and it's wiry, and I was like,
yeah,
that's a gray hair, and they're all along my along my part. Like I have
I'm gonna have to investigate after this.
I know it's. I always find mine when I'm like curling my hair, because that's when you're doing each little chunk of hair and you curl it, and they're wiry and they're different texture than my regular hair. So that's how I always find out about them. But they do grow in little colonies, which is funny. It's like
and
lovely.
Like mine are short. It's almost like they like new growth gray hair. One was like just pointing up because it was a little tiny piece, but it's all coming from my part, and they're all over.
Is it like okay, is this a stupid question? Are they full? Okay, this is such a stupid question. Are gray hairs like full length? It's not like a follicle starts to go gray and it's like halfway down the shaft. It's regular hair, right?
No,
is it like a full length gray hair? It does happen? Okay.
Yeah, like you can, like I have hairs that like at the end are brown, but at the root are gray, which is like what happened to me this week. No idea. I was so stressed that all of a sudden my hair is turning gray. Like what the fuck?
I gotta put a closer look. Maybe I'm just in denial. I don't often, I guess, look at my roots, so maybe I'm missing it.
I feel like you'd be able to easily, because I was like, it doesn't surprise me that Alex didn't know that she has grays having blonde hair, but I feel like with you, you'd be able to, like me, we can see them.
I have a surprising amount of like I don't know if you can see like this piece at the front. Like I actually do have blonde hairs growing out of my head. Yeah, like all of these hairs. But I feel like the wiriness is why I feel like I would notice it, is because I do have such like thin, fine hair.
Yeah, same. That's how I notice them. I'm really happy we ran it back on this topic, because I had something funny happen to me in the conversation about gray hairs. Never in my life have I had pushed ads or anything like that were like how to target gray hairs or anything having to do with my hair, frankly. But after our conversation, weird people on my phone who are always listening to our conversations must have heard me, because then I immediately got an ad that for a supplement that you can take, that it literally was like, the ad itself was like, don't pluck your gray hairs, take this supplement instead. And I'm like, what the? You guys are listening.
It's so annoying. Also, I just feel like as women, we have so many things to worry about that like I'm just not concerned. Like let the grays come. Hair dye could not be an easier solution if I wanted to go that way.
Yeah. My concern mostly came from the fact that I had no idea they were there, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there's a lot of them there.
Now I feel
was just pissed off that you guys didn't have grays and I have grays, because like what the fuck? I'm not that much older than you.
It's all coming for us.
They almost look like they were like sparkling. Like that's how it caught my attention.
That's pretty. That sounds nice.
It is kind of. Oh, that was the other thing that popped up on my Pinterest. Now I have suggested Pinterest images of the 60-year-olds with the long silver hair. I swear to God, both these things just popped up out of nowhere over the last week, and I'm convinced that obviously my phone is listening to me, but that was very reassuring, because I was like, these ladies are hot, and I fully plan on being a hot 60-year-old. Now that we got that out of the way.
I'm really struggling.
You haven't done the mom chop yet, Allie.
I did. I guess you could. It's not the mom chop, but I chopped all my hair off after my wedding. That was more of a mental health chop, though. That was like I've had it. Get rid of all this hair. I do that every now and again.
Pretty short.
I really like short hair. It's just because I had short hair like maybe 2 years ago, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start growing it out now. And I think I'm keeping it long. I don't know. It's just so hard to grow back. I don't care how cute it looks short. It's really hard to grow back. And I'm just going to keep it long forever now.
My hair's not hard to grow back, but I hate so I loved it when it was a short bob. Loved that haircut. Anything in between short bob and where it is now, I can't stand. I think I look like a 12-year-old, and that takes years. And so I don't know if I'll be doing that again.
Yep, I agree.
We now have 2 podcasts where
I know. Wait, how do we get into hair again? All right,
20 minutes talking about hair.
Gray hair. Okay, Allie had something to bring to the pod today.
Oh, okay, so sorry. We are talking about goals today. The idea behind this one, we'll talk a little bit about like the role that goals have played in our business, kind of where we're at today, and goal setting and how we approach those things. Obviously, goal setting is a massive part of Biz Retreat, which is what kicked off kind of this entire thing. We don't have any plans for an in-person Biz Retreat at the moment, but we have our old notebooks of the work we have done in the past. So we do want to have a little fun reacting to some of our old goals just to see if there's any funny ones in there, if any of them we actually achieved, or also the ones that like still resonate too. Cause I was kind of looking back at my old stuff and I was like, oh yes, that's definitely still a priority. So yeah, we're just going to do a little check-in on goals today. Anything to add to that?
No, but I thought you had some sort of like announcement to bring to the pod.
It actually will tie into one of my goals. So I have sort of, I guess, a win, but more so an action I took in my business that I'm just super stoked about that should align with these goal sharings that we're doing. How do we, so to kick it off, I would love to know from you guys, like, what is the role that goal setting is playing in your businesses right now? Are you really strict about goal setting? Are you really casual about goal setting? Have goals completely fallen behind the wayside and we're just not, just kind of freestyling this year? Because I've had different years of my business goals have played a different role. And I just am curious where you guys are at right now.
I'm pretty strict. I don't know if strict is the right word, but I do have a lot of goals. I have like a pretty intense Google Doc where I write them all by week and by month. And I just find it's like the only way that I can get shit done.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to look back on. I think something we talked about before is that sometimes I think sometimes as a business owner, you just feel like you're failing or you're falling short of something. But a lot of the times it's just because you don't have a benchmark or a milestone set. So I think it's really helpful to check things off a list. And if I have to push back a goal, understand why I'm pushing it back. And it helps me like immensely get things done.
Did you use goals in your corporate job too, Allison? I'm just curious.
No, the thing is, it doesn't come organically to me.
Okay.
I'm not a very organized person. That's something I've struggled with my entire life. And I continue to struggle with it even as I own my own business. But so I don't know, mine looks really messy. Like I'll go write stuff down, but maybe I won't reference it as much as I should. It's not like I have this clean meeting where I'm going and checking things off, but just having it somewhere recorded and then I go back in as I see fit to kind of see where I'm at does help me. So even if you're unorganized, you can still do goals. But no, even in corporate life, I hated them. Mostly because they weren't for me. Like now it's like they're helping me get done things that are literally my dream. So I am a little more receptive to them now. But in the corporate world, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like
I used to make up everything when it came to my performance reviews.
Yeah,
and like
especially your personal career goals. Ugh.
I was like, where do you want to be at this company in 5 years? And I'm like, I don't want to be at this fucking company in 5 years. What do you mean?
Yeah.
How about you, Alex?
Well, I'm glad Allison followed up with that because she was making me feel really inferior until you followed up with the whole like, I don't have a meeting where I sit down and go through. No. I'm like completely fast and loose this year. I haven't set a single. Actually, I don't want to say I haven't set a goal. I have like projects that I'm actively working on that I'm like getting out every month, but there's no system to it. It's fly by the seat of my pants and stay up until 9 p.m. the night before it's going to launch to finish it up, even though I've had 31 days to do so.
All right.
And I have a lot of to-do lists. But the problem is I use to-do lists a lot of times as like a brain dump when I'm anxious and then I don't go back to them. So I have about 50 different ones on my iPad with different lists of different things. There's not like one space. And maybe it's because our biz meetings have just sort of kind of gone to the wayside since we started podcasting weekly, but I don't revisit them. I don't.
That's fair.
And I don't even have any like forward thinking goals. Like these to-do lists are like things in the next couple months or to prepare for this or to prepare for, it's not like my business overarching goals, which is
it safe to say that?
I will say I'm only really looking ahead at like the year. Like I just have like my 2025 goals that 2026 is like a black hole. Once that comes, I'm like, I have nothing.
God knows
for that.
To get here at this point. So
yeah. 2026
fair.
Doesn't exist as far as my brain is concerned.
Like I found a list. Actually, this is funny. I found a list it was either yesterday or this morning, and it was like all the steps I wanted to do every month as I'm launching each program every month. We're now in April, so we're in month 4, and it was like, put out your newsletter. I haven't put a single newsletter out all year.
Oh yeah, you were excited
maybe
about that
on the
too.
1st of January. Yeah, I was like really pumped to do that. haven't done it once. So I did do a lot of beating myself up for that this past couple days. Not really because of this podcast, but just in general.
Yeah, to Allison's point, sometimes having your written goals is a good way to like, oh, I'm actually doing better than I thought. But then at the same time, it can, sharing my experience, goals have not really been a thing for me since maybe a year ago, like when I was pregnant. Like I wanted to share my experience because I have a lot of peace with that. I think that was actually the right move. Like I think there are certain seasons of your life where having goals honestly just doesn't work. Like, and for me being really pregnant and then going through the newborn stage and like my whole life was like being flipped on its head. Like I could have come up with goals, but they would have been fake. Like they would have been like what I did at corporate where I just wrote things down to write things down because I had no concept of like how much time I was going to have to do anything. I had no concept of where my mental health was going to be, how much energy and time I had to put into taking care of a baby, all of that stuff. I am just now getting to the place where I am back goal setting again. Like I put on my stories a couple days ago that I was setting goals for April onward, and this was like the first time that I had written goals in a really long time. And it feels so good to get back in the habit of like, oh, what do I want to have happen in my business versus just kind of keeping the lights on and like reacting to everything that comes up instead of having like a clear direction. So I'm at like a different place, but goals absolutely still have a really important place in my business. I just think I was just going through a season where it was not productive for me to hold myself to a goal.
Yeah.
Other than survive.
Yeah. I was going to say, you had a lot going on.
I did.
Yeah. I will say, in saying that I don't really have directional goals at the moment, I am really looking forward to, we said we didn't have an in-person Biz Retreat this year planned, but we are planning to do one ourselves. Yeah, I don't know if we want to share that, but we are going to. And I am dying for that. Like, I do think that that's where I get my best goal work done, my best reflection work done. And I rely on that. And I think not having it last year made a really big impact on where I'm at with goals right now, which isn't super fair to say because I should really just be doing it myself and like digging into it. But I didn't realize how much I rely on that time and how much inspiration and motivation that brings to me.
It was the reason we created that in the first place, was because we knew what a big deal it was to be able to get away from your day to day. And it's just really hard, I think, to, I don't know, just like strip away all of the noise and get to the core of what you really want to do. Because what I think is interesting, and I think a segue into what we'll do next and kind of revisiting some of our old goals, a lot of these do still resonate. Like I was on point with where I wanted to go with my business because I think I was so like, I had cleared out all of the noise and the stress and everything like that, and just getting to the root of what I really wanted to do as a photographer and as a business owner. So how do we want to do this part of the episode where we're revisiting our old goals? Do we want to first kick it off with some funny ones that you guys took a look at? And I also am curious, like the process to which you're looking at your old goals. Like Alex, obviously we have like our old Biz Retreat workbooks, but Allison was there. How did you approach this?
I also obviously I'm newer along this journey than you two, but I also just picked up my 2024 Biz Retreat notebook because I don't think I like recorded any goals for myself prior to then.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially for being an author. That was a kind of a new thing. So that definitely makes sense. Any really funny ones that you guys want to kick it off with that you're like, oh, that was cute? Mine are all, the social media ones are all the funny ones for me.
I was going to say,
like, we're all dream big.
Yeah, my funniest one was just 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
That's dream big. Nice.
That is dream big.
Yeah, but I don't even use YouTube anymore, so it's irrelevant.
My funniest one was in 2024. I wrote release my 4th novel and then also write and release my 5th, 6th, and 7th novel. I don't know what I thought.
Did you just finish your 7th novel?
Yeah, like both my 6th novel came out earlier this year. To be fair, I did write it in 2024, but that came out this year. And then I guess I was just really, that was a push goal because I was like, in what world was I going to release 4 books essentially in 2024?
That's funny. Yeah, my social media goals are fucking hilarious. Like just, I feel like I took and ran, and the one I'm looking at actually is 2022. And I still have not hit the social media goals that I put in here. Like, it was just like, girl,
2021,
what are you
I haven't hit.
Like, and I never put in the effort either. I should clarify. It's not that I did not put in the effort to hit those goals. So completely on me.
Something I was going to say about social media goals, and I didn't make them at all last year at Biz Retreat. Even in 2023, I think I might have dropped that. But I always just had this number goal. There was no reason behind it. There wasn't like, I want to reach X amount of people so that blah, blah, blah. Nope. It was just, I want to hit 10K.
100K followers on TikTok. Let's go. Nope.
Yeah.
No, I will say my only social media goal was to hit 30,000 followers on TikTok, and I did do that.
Yeah, screw you, Allison.
But I do think
I thought that was a reasonable goal.
Oh, and you put in the effort too. Like there was,
true.
You had a
reasonable, and that's where you make your money. So there was this like a very clear connection between
sales goal
usually followers to where I was just like 10K on Instagram, even though I never talk about the things that I create. So like, what was that going to do for me?
I feel you though. Honestly, it's followers are weird because it is such a vanity metric, but at the same time, sometimes I do just want to, like, now that I've hit like whatever 10K or 15K on TikTok, I don't care at all. Like, I get new followers every day and I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I hope they're engaged readers. This could be awesome. But I don't really care about the count because I feel like it's already it already makes me look legitimate, quote unquote. But then like Instagram, I do still have a desire to hit 10,000 because I feel like it will make me look more, quote unquote, legitimate, even though, but then it's like, once I hit that, I don't know that I really care too much after that. But I do feel like there is something to those numbers in like my subconscious.
No, I kind of agree because I say I didn't, and I don't have the goal like I didn't write down any social media goals this year or last year, but I will say as I've been increasing lately and like now that I hit 7K, I do feel like somebody coming to my page would be like, oh, they don't just have 2,000 followers or 7,000. Like that still feels like a big enough number to be like, oh, other people are interested, so I'm interested. So I do think there's a little bit of that aspect of
I think so.
Like social proof kind of.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So it's not 100% terrible to have that. But yeah, I just like, who did I think I was going to be with 1 million subscribers on YouTube?
Well, and like why? I think that was the good point. I think that's like a really good note for the audience when you are goal setting. It's like, don't just make vanity goals. Like, it doesn't help at all. And probably challenge yourself a little bit because I don't know that you would have known you were making a vanity goal by putting that down. But I think now that you've had a little bit more maturity, you're like, that was a vanity goal. That wasn't for any good reason.
Yeah.
My favorite funny goal that I used to have is really when I first started my business, thinking that I like was gonna hit it big as like a mountainous elopement photographer. That's like my favorite pivot that I made because in order to do that, you have to wake up at like 2 a.m. You have to drive to these trailheads, which are often very hard to find and obviously not well lit. You're in the mountains. They're dangerous drives sometimes. And like, I love Taylor, and Taylor is so supportive of me and all my work, but it's not like he's driving me to my jobs. It would be me by myself and cold, hiking up a fucking mountain before the sun rises, and then having to hike down by myself or just with 2 other strangers. It's just like, what was I thinking? That's not fun.
You're such a city photographer.
I am. I don't know who I was kidding. I'm a city girl. The mountains are for fun. They're for the middle of the day. They're for the summer. I don't even hike in the winter anymore. So yeah, that's my favorite. Like, we've changed our minds a little bit.
It's probably a good thing you didn't end up moving to Denver because I was like, I kind of feel like that
was the name of the game out there.
It's like the place to elope in the mountains.
Yeah, it's not like Seattle is like it's not New York City or anything like that where it's like the top creme de la creme of cities in the world. But like Seattle is a city and I can get a lot of work in the city there. Denver is a city, but I don't think like that's the focus of Denver.
It's not the focus. And it's also like, it's like people come like seek out elopements. Like they come here specifically to elope in the mountains. You know what I mean?
It's like a destination elopement.
Yeah.
Like location.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm happy that we've put that goal to bed. and that we were focused on other things. So yeah, that was one of my funny ones. Any goals that still resonated for you guys and you're like, yeah, that's still something I'm working towards?
Ugh.
Yeah, I feel like not really a specific goal, which is more of an overarching general vision of my business kind of goal. I feel like in every year from every Biz Retreat workbook, I've written about finding some level of success that gives me more time freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's just always resonated as I'm thinking about my current schedule and how I'm busier than I've ever been. But eventually,
not something you're giving up on, it sounds like.
Yeah, no,
definitely
that is it. I want it.
You bring up a really good point because I think sometimes we set goals that we might think we can accomplish in a year, but they really truly are multi-year journeys that it's not anything you're doing wrong right now that's not getting you to hit that goal in a shorter time frame. It's just by nature of how big of a goal that is, it's probably going to take you years and years to hone in your business and your schedule and all that.
Yeah. And I mean, I think also this is going to take more inner reflection work, but I think about like right now, if I had more quote unquote time freedom, I honestly don't know what I would do with it. Take a nap.
You'd probably fill it knowing you.
Well, right. So I do think that there's a certain also level of like planning out what time freedom means for me and what it looks like and what I want it to look like. Cause yeah, if like right now, like I said, it would be a nap.
You'd be on Canva the whole time designing some new program or something like that.
I would be. Yeah. It would fill it with something for sure. So it would have to be in a more structured way, but maybe just to like feel a little bit less pressure when I go on like longer vacations or feeling like it's okay to take 2 weeks of not being paid to do something as opposed to like feeling like I have to reschedule and like be so booked right before I leave and right when I come back and not have those like transitional periods. I think little things like that are still up there in my goal range.
That's good. And I think there's something to be said, the fact that we're all doing a job that we love and is our basically dream. It's I don't have any hobbies anymore, like, I mean, reading, sure. But yeah, I feel like it definitely, I forgot what it was like to just enjoy like my life. I don't remember. What was I doing with my downtime? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't even know that I could do that now. Like, it's like, I don't even, like I said, I had the opportunity to take all this time off with a baby and I didn't want to. Like it was, I don't know. I love what I do. It's a very fun place to be for sure. I mean, of course it's like stressful and it's not great to have like work in your brain 24/7, but we're doing this because we love it. And that makes sense and comes through in the way that we spend our free time too. Our quote unquote free time that never exists. But yeah.
I will say, like, because Zach and I were talking about this the other day, because I said something along the lines of all I ever do is work. I don't know how to have fun anymore. Even the weekends I'm working. And it's interesting because as much as I don't feel like the corporate life was for me, I will say back when I was, 27 and just working a corporate job and then going to happy hour at 4:30 and like literally being completely like I wasn't the kind of person where I took my work home with me for the most part. Like once I left that office, I left the office. So and when I would go on vacation, I would truly enjoy it and be 100% present. So I will say, like, I do feel like there is something to that. This is definitely the harder path in a way. I do miss that. I do miss that, like being able to check out like so easily.
You kind of said it when you were like, I had no guilt about like leaving work at work and not working outside of the specific. I was so good at that as well. Like it was just like, you guys are paying me for 40 hours a week. You are not getting me. Like I was never conflicted about should I be going above and beyond outside of work. I was like, no, I'm gonna be social and live my life and do fun things and travel and turn off my brain when I'm not at the office, that kind of thing. I really feel like I haven't been good at that since I became an entrepreneur, but it comes with trade-offs though. Cause even like, so one thing that's been really good for me being a new mom, obviously we have some really hard nights with Stevie and like she'll out of nowhere wake up and be up in the middle of the night for like 3 hours and stuff like that. And every single time that happens, I find myself so grateful that like I just choose to sleep in the next day, as much as she'll let me, of course. But like, I just go with her schedule and the flow of that. And then I don't have to like stress out about like, oh my God, I have to get up in 2 hours to go to the office. I never have to worry about that, which is, I think that flexibility is nice. So
yeah, no, it's definitely a privilege. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I will say I have to try to convince myself of that at times because I'm like still getting up at 4:30 in the morning. But I will look at times when I'm like at 1 p.m. when I can take a nap or when I'm, I don't know, doing whatever, petting the dog, taking the dogs for a walk in the middle of the dog. Yeah. So I do have to, but sometimes I'm like, I create my own schedule and this is what I created for myself. What am I doing?
I mean, there's a part of you that maybe loves it a little bit. Like, it's just, that's how it is. We create our own schedule and we make it work for us, whether or not it looks like healthy to other people.
Fair.
Okay, so I will share my little win or my news now because it matches up with one of the goals that I'm still working towards. So there's two I wanted to call out on this episode. One is going to Fashion Week. I feel like that's always been a huge personal dream of mine. Like even as a little kid, I was like, I want to go to Fashion Week, like all these things. Obviously, I'm focused more on bridal fashion week because I am a wedding photographer, but I legitimately think that this is the year I'm going. I'm going to go in fall. And I'm finally to the place where I've sort of like figured out the pieces of how it works, how to get out there, how to contact people, and like actually make it a trip that's going to be fruitful for, I don't know, just exciting and good for my business. So that is exciting because I feel like I've put that on my Biz Retreat goals kind of every single year. And that's one that I think I'm actually achieving this year. So that's super exciting. That's not the one I was talking about though.
I was going to say that's felt a little bit more even like a stretch goal in some, especially in earlier years. Like it sounded more of an, unattainable thing. So that's, I mean, not unattainable, but like a far off thing.
Yeah. It feels like but here's the funny thing about it though. Nobody stops you. There's no gatekeeping to go to Fashion Week. You literally just have to go. You have to like make the trip yourself. There are like, so I have a subscription now that gets me access to the schedule. That was something that like, okay, you do have to buy into that, but it's not one of these things where all of a sudden somebody's just inviting you to Fashion Week.
It's not
unless you're an
only.
influencer. Yeah. Like it's like, if you're being invited by a brand to Fashion Week, great. But like, you just go. Like, that's just how it works. You just go. And so I'm happy that I kept that on my goals for years and I kind of dug in and now I'm going to make it happen. That's a really exciting one. And then the second one I wanted to bring up is about photographing weddings in Europe. I have not been booked to photograph any weddings in Europe. That is still a huge dream of mine. But the news I had is I made a big old investment on myself and it's so exciting. I'm going on like a 7-day luxury cruise around the Mediterranean. And there's 4 luxury styled shoots in Greece and Italy, like across 4 different locations. And I'm like,
what?
Stoked
as
on
part
it.
of this cruise?
Yeah. It's like you know how they do those photography retreats where I'll go travel and I'll shoot and I'll get like there'll be educators and stuff. It's exactly that. It's just taking place on a cruise. And so we get to go to like 4 different.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was a bigger investment. Not absurd though, to be honest, like a bigger investment, but this is one of those goals. And I'm not sure if you guys have these goals as well, where it's like, you talk about it, you got to be about it a bit. Like it was one of those things where I was like, I could wait around for somebody to finally trust me and inquire with me for a European wedding. But like, I have to have the portfolio work. I have to go. I have to like show that this is what I do. So this was one of those things that like, not so much a win, but kind of like I'm finally putting my money where my mouth is and going after something that has been on my goals for a long time through a big investment in myself. So that was my news. And I'm very, very stoked.
That's amazing. Well, and I think it's also such an incredible experience that, like not only is it an investment, it's going to help you with your future, but it's also just like a cool experience. Like,
oh, totally.
Best of both worlds.
I come back from those retreats beyond energized. Like these are
I bet
definitely good investments in myself and my business because I can't name one retreat that I've gone to where I haven't significantly gone through a level up afterwards. So I'm just sort of like, I'm doing this. I'm so excited about who I'm going to network with, all the portfolio work I'm going to get. And I'm just kind of trusting that it's going to lead to some sort of level up. Even if it gets me one wedding in my whole career in Europe, that will be an accomplishment for me. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with a revisited goal there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is so
kind
cool.
of in that vein, like something I had on my 2024 goals that's still very much like a goal for me is to like attend a conference or a writing workshop or a writing retreat, like something along those lines. And it actually is so hard. It's funny because it is like a paid thing. Like if I want to go to a conference or something, a romance con or something like that, it's something you pay for. It's an investment. It's so hard to get into. They're already booked up for like 2026. I have been reaching out every time I find one, I reach out and get on the inquiry list, but it's so hard to get into. And say like writing retreats,
That's so cool.
I got invited to 2 this year. Both times I had plans already. So I'm just like, wow, this is really like hard to figure out. So it's still on my goal list. Hopefully I can eventually figure one out. It's something that I've been like actively really trying to do, but I've not had something work out yet.
This is not helping in me not romanticizing your job, because I was just like, oh my God, like an artist residency. Like actually I've been getting a targeted ad for an artist residency. I'm like, what am I going to fucking do? Like paint watercolors that I can't do? Like it's just, and I'm like, that would be so fun. Would you ever do anything like that, Allison? Where like,
what is an artist residency like?
So the way that this one is presented, it's like they're renting out this like chalet, or I don't know, however you pronounce that, but like big old chalet in Europe, I think France, and like it's for artists. So like if you're a maker or a writer, or it's probably for artists that are typically writing or working on projects that only take themselves. Like for a photographer, it's not. Residency is not going to help me at all. I need to go to a styled shoot or, something like that. That's actually going to be valuable, but it's kind of that idea. Have you seen the movie Past Lives?
Are you asking both of us?
I was trying to think. It's not like the Aubrey Plaza one, is it? I don't think I've seen it.
No. It was a really good movie last year that came out. You guys should check it out if you haven't seen it. But she goes on a little artist residency. It's like a writing retreat, and she meets her husband there. It's actually a cute little romance movie as well. But
wait, not the one with Laura Dern.
No. It's I don't.
That's also okay. Look it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a good movie.
Anyways, I think I am more interested in like something more specific, like just all writers or all indie authors. Not even necessarily all romance, but I do think it is really nice to connect with people that are so like in the same vein of what you're doing, because it's also so rare. Like I connect with people online but never really in person, so I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully I can find something that eventually works out, even if it's in 2028.
Yeah, I went to like a conference last year, and I will say that I'm surprised I haven't looked at doing another one, because that it does give you so much energy to be around people that are also interested in the same, learning
it's such a
the
good
same
way
stuff.
to see like where you are. Like I feel like whenever I go to these retreats, I get a lot of pride in how far I've come as an entrepreneur, but also there's always people there who are further along than I am, or have a better level of what I would quote unquote deem successful, and I can look up to them and get inspired by them. And I feel like that's always why I come home and I'm so energized to just like hit the ground running. And you also feel it's that effect that we always talked about at Biz Retreat too, where you feel so much less embarrassed about putting yourself out there because you're surrounded by all these other people that are putting themselves out there. And it's just like, I feel like I need that reminder every so often of like, what we're doing is normal, and surrounding ourselves by other people who are putting themselves out there is just another great way to like, I don't know, get rid of that imposter syndrome a little bit. So I just enjoy that.
No, that's true. I'd like to experience it one day.
I'm surprised those are so hard to get into. I would feel like there would just be a lot more of them.
It's to get like a booth. Like you can go as a reader.
Okay.
I see. But yeah, it's to get a booth.
Yeah,
maybe one day. Writers' retreats are a bit like, I think those would be easier to get into, because I mean, obviously you guys ran a retreat,
like a ton of people
sign up, but
yeah,
it's just a couple ones that I was interested in, or somebody reached out to me regarding. I just had a conflict of interest, so I couldn't go.
I'm excited if you ever go one day to hear your experience.
I know, hopefully.
Yeah.
What else? Any other ones that people want to share? Previous goals
or goals you're still working towards that are exciting? And
no, I feel like all this episode made me do is realize I need to sit down and set some.
Yeah.
Set some. Although you did mention not having biz meetings every week too, because I was like, that is a really good point. I think obviously we love recording our podcast and stuff, but having what do we call it? Accountability. What would, when we went on that trip, they called it like what?
TLF, accountability
buddy or something like that. It's like having
I don't remember that at all.
I don't know why.
It was like how to make sure everybody was on the bus.
Yeah, they like you had a partners to make sure like, okay, I'm here.
They're on the bus.
They're on the bus.
I do remember that. I did not remember it was called an accountability buddy.
I swear that's the only reason I like have that term in my mind is that retreat we went on. But anyways, it does help having someone who can hold you accountable and not necessarily to the point where it's like they're harping you on your goals, but more so just talking about it, and that touch point with that person helps you hold yourself accountable to your goals. Cause you're like, you don't want to come to a meeting and be like, oh, I haven't made any progress, even though no one cares. It's just like, I think talking about it helps.
Yeah.
No, I think it's true. It does help. It does help us each other accountable.
So after you listen to this episode, everybody go write your goals down. Or revisit them at the very least.
Get coffee, talk about them, get excited. Hyped up. I'm like, no, we got to do that. We got to resurrect a biz meeting or two to do it. But yeah. Anything else going on biz-wise for you guys that you want to talk about on the pod this week?
No.
I'm like really proud of us.
No, I'm totally blanking.
Being like
I know.
Like we're all in a very good headspace. We talked about this, I think, in the last episode, but I am enjoying just like how we're all sort of just being without being anxious, if that makes sense. Like just kind of going.
Yeah. No, I feel good right now. I'm feeling really hopeful.
Right now.
I'm feeling really optimistic right now. We'll see. Maybe in a few months I'll be feeling differently if things aren't like panning out how I hope they pan out. But yeah, I'm definitely in a very like optimistic headspace right now.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't say I feel optimistic. I do feel like chill about things. Like like a neutral headspace maybe. I did. Yeah. So we're recording this on April 1st. Yesterday, month 4 of my program launched. And on Sunday night when I was finishing it, like I said, 8, 9 o'clock the day before, we were about to eat dinner. And I like hit publish on my final thing. And I was like, well, just finished another month of something that nobody's going to do and nobody's doing. And Eric was like, I know. Eric was like, shut up. And I just like, I mean, I'm gonna keep doing it, but I was like, yeah, there goes another month. No.
Maybe we do need to have our little mindset episode, Alex.
I think we do. I think we do.
I think you're creating work for the future. I feel that the same way. I mean, how many books have I released to an audience of no one? So
okay, but
now I finally have some readers, but
I think what's really I want to challenge both of you. We'll talk about this in a mindset episode, but Alex, for you, where I do think you have a really positive mindset that shows that having a positive mindset helps is where, like, if you have a client drop on you or something and one of your slots opens, I swear to God, it's first of all, I feel like you don't get too shaken up by those things. You're like, of course, like it gets to you sometimes, but like you don't get too shaken up by that. And usually it's in like 2 weeks that you have that spot already filled by the next person. So that's what I'll throw for you. And then Allison, for you, I just feel like it's like, especially when you go live, like your confidence to go live on TikTok and like you do it because you get book sales out of it. And that's why you do it. But I'm just like, your confidence to just get on, go live because you know it's going to lead to sales, I feel like is a really positive mindset thing that you have. I think a really hard thing to like get over. I've thought about going live, but it's something that really terrifies me. And I always look to you as like, Allison just does it and she sells books. That's the whole point.
It's not my favorite thing in the world. I mean, it is fun, especially now I have like so many regulars that like pop in and we just chat. So I feel like it's not
the fact that you have regulars on your live, like, that you have like people interested enough that they're like always joining in. And I think that's sick. Anyways, I have to hype you too.
Wait, also on being that we are recording on April Fool's Day. I was at the gym this morning and pulled up Instagram. Oh, because I had a client messaging me through Instagram. And the first video that popped up was yours, Allison. And I couldn't listen to it. So I wasn't listening. I just saw and I was like, oh, she's revealing her book. So I like stayed around for it. And literally, like, I didn't pay attention to I didn't even notice the first time I watched through what the characters looked like. I just saw the colors and I was like, the yellow's kind of nice. And I almost commented because I just wanted to hype you up and be like, love the yellow. Thank God I didn't because I saw it on TikTok like an hour ago. And I was like, oh my God, thank God.
Now we know that Alex will not tell us the truth about things.
No,
I know.
Well, I mean, if it was already out there, there's no point.
I was gonna say, all the comments were so funny. I had so many people. If you haven't seen my video, I made an April Fool's video earlier of like a fake cover reveal with like the ugliest cover I could make in like 5 minutes. And there were so many comments being like, man, I was so ready to support you no matter what, but I'm so glad this is a joke. And like,
that's how I felt. Like, you announced it. So it's not like if that was what you chose, it's not like, what am I going to do? I hate this one. Like, maybe I wouldn't buy the hard copy.
I kicked off. Maybe I wouldn't buy the hard copy. I kicked off the day with my husband giving me a PSA. He's like, Allie, don't fall for anything that you see on social media today, because I notoriously hate April
very
Fool's
gullible.
Day. I'm so gullible. I'm like innocently gullible though, because I'm like, why would somebody fucking lie about this or something like that? Like, I feel like I'm really good at like sniffing out bullshit when it matters, but when it's just something stupid and it's a small little prank that people are doing, like we've had a lot of times in Washington, like our news stations or something will put out like not Sasquatch sighting, but kind of like in that vein of like some weird sea creature was discovered or something like that, or like I said, in that vein where it's an outdoorsy thing that I don't know enough about, and I see the headline and I'm all excited by it and I shoot it off to Taylor. He's like, Allie, this isn't fucking real. And that happens to me every April Fool's Day. So he's like, Allie, careful of what you consume on social media today. And of course, so I saw that right before things. I saw that right before Allison's thing, and I was like, I am not falling for this. No, ma'am.
See, nice. It's fun. It's funny because I had that same thought this morning, and because I do usually fall for just something little like that too.
I fall for everything.
They just show leggings that are like, I don't know, like crazy, and I'm like, ew, why would they do that? And then it becomes, and so I was like, that's stupid. I'm not, and I honestly, I didn't think my best friend was gonna do one.
They get you.
It's funny. I normally don't do April Fool's stuff, but I just thought of it this morning.
It was such a good one.
I was planning on doing a cover reveal this week.
That was my favorite type of content, no less. Like, she gets me on April Fool's. Don't know,
right? I know, and I thought it aligned so perfectly because I thought that's what you did. I did a recipe video yesterday because Allie was like, I like your food videos. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do one. And so I was like, Allison's going to do one too. I was like, oh. Well, and you didn't, I think you told us, maybe it was offline, but what the name of your book was. So when you told us that, or when you revealed it, I was like, that's so interesting. That's not what she told us it was called.
I love I just love the bathroom symbol, man and woman. Like, that was.
I literally didn't notice those right away. I just saw the yellow and black, and I was like,
just trying to pick the ugliest color. It's funny because I feel like that color actually is cute in a way, but
I did like the yellow, but it mixed with the black. It just didn't. Whatever color you put
brown.
I knew something was important when you're like, it's a little different than what I've done before. I was like, okay.
I had fun. I'm glad it was fun to do that.
Yeah, no, that was a good one.
I guess happy April Fools, everybody. Hopefully nobody duped you guys too hard today. And if you saw Allison's video and fell for it, joke's on you.
Same.
April Fools. Oh, well,
all right.
I think that's all we got for you guys today.
Yeah, we are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram. You can find that all wherever you're listening.
You can listen in one place everywhere.
Or subscribe, rate, review, give it a thumbs up because we're on YouTube. Like our TikToks, like our Instagrams. I don't know.
Support us.
Whatever you're
doing. Do all the things.
Yeah. I finally flipped our podcast to be explicit on Riverside or on
nice. Smart. Okay, great.
To upload it. So now we are appropriately rated on all of our different platforms.
Yeah.
But anyways,
all right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Everybody have a good week. Bye.